What if the very first Digidestined wasn't who you think? What if the Digivices, the iconic symbols of the bond between human and Digimon, were actually created by mistake? And what if the key to understanding the future of the digital world was erasing its past? In 2023, Digimon Adventure 02 The Beginning hit theaters, promising a long-awaited return for Davis, Ken, Yole, and Cody as the main stars. Set after the emotional gut punch of Kizuna, where Tai and Matt lost their partners, fans were eager for answers. Instead, they got a movie that, while emotionally resonant, left the Digimon community more confused than ever. It introduced a mysterious new character, Lui Ohwada, who made a shocking claim that he was the first ever child to have a Digimon partner, a claim that seems to shatter everything we thought we knew about the timeline. Today, we're diving deep into the code, untangling the paradoxes, and explaining why Digimon Adventure 02 The Beginning is one of the most controversial and confusing entries in the entire franchise. The movie's central mystery revolves around Lui Ohwada. He appears in 2012, a broken young man with an eye patch and a battered Digivice, claiming to be the very first Digidestined from way back in 1996. This immediately throws up a huge red flag for longtime fans. Why? Because of Digimon Adventure Tri. Tri explicitly introduced us to Maki Himekawa and Daigo Nishijima's team, a group of 5 original Digidestined who fought the Dark Masters before Tai and the Adventure team ever set foot in the digital world. So how can Lui be the first? This is where the movie gets complicated, and the answers aren't in the film itself, but in supplementary materials and producer interviews. The official explanation is that Lui is not a Digidestined in the same way as the others. He's what the creators call a tamer. His partner, a wish-granting Digimon named Ukkomon, essentially went rogue. It formed a friendship contract with a lonely, abused Lui and gave him a Digivice without permission from the digital world's guardian, Homeostasis. Lui is an anomaly, an outlier who exists outside the established system of chosen children. The timeline, once you piece it all together, looks something like this. The Hikari Gaoka incident from the first movie happens in 1995. In 1996, Lui forms his unsanctioned partnership. Then, in 1998, Maki's chosen team is formed. And finally, in 1999, the events of Digimon Adventure begin. Lui was the first to have a partner, but he wasn't the first to be chosen. This leads us to the next major point of confusion. Ukkomon. This little sea angel Digimon is the source of all the chaos. It claims to be responsible for creating all Digimon partnerships and the Digivices themselves, all stemming from Lui's childhood wish for friends. Ukkomon speaks of a higher power that it serves, and while the movie doesn't spell it out, all signs point to this being Homeostasis. This is the same entity that has possessed Kari and Himekawa in the past, the being responsible for maintaining the balance between worlds. The most logical conclusion is that Ukkomon isn't the ultimate source of power, but a tool. Homeostasis likely set the plan in motion for children to partner with Digimon, and Ukkomon was the mechanism to make it happen. The problem is that both Ukkomon and Lui are unreliable narrators. They've been isolated for years with no contact with the digital world or other Digidestined. They only have their small piece of the puzzle. The movie presents their version of the story as fact, leaving the audience to connect the dots and realize that Ukkomon's wish-granting power was simply the method, not the cause of the Digidestined phenomenon. Perhaps the most controversial part of the movie is its ending. To stop a giant rampaging Ukkomon, Lui is sent back to the moment he first met his partner. This time, he chooses not to make a wish. The result is catastrophic. Every single Digivice in the world dissolves into particles and disappears. Fans were floored. The Digivices are more than just evolution items. They allow for travel, communication, and have protective powers. The 02 kids who loved using their D3s to travel the world in Kizuna are now grounded. It felt like a massive step backward, but there's a brilliant hidden reason for this. This ending solves a 20-year-old mystery from the original Digimon Adventure 02 epilogue. If you go back and watch that final scene, set in the year 2028, you'll notice something strange. No one has a Digivice. Not the original kids, not their own children. For 2 decades, fans wondered why. The beginning provides the answer. The writers made a bold, conscious choice to align this new movie with the original intended ending of the series. The Digivices, like the crests before them, were ultimately just training wheels. They were physical objects to help the children understand their bond. But the bond itself is the true source of power. Of course, in true Digimon fashion, this clean explanation was immediately muddled. A short film released later, Digimon Beyond, shows the 02 kids with their Digivices again, with absolutely no explanation, proving that even the franchise itself can't always keep its own canon straight. Beyond the big three, the movie left several other questions dangling. Kin's comment that everyone getting a Digimon would be hell on earth seemed to contradict the epilogue's utopian vision. However, the context implies he meant it would be chaos if it happened all at once. The movie supports the idea of a gradual 17-year path to that future, not an instant one. Many fans were also disappointed by the lack of new Digivolutions, a staple of every Digimon movie. This was another deliberate thematic choice. The movie parallels the 02 series finale, which focused on spreading hope and optimism rather than winning a big fight. It was on brand for the 02 cast, even if it was less exciting for viewers. And what about Tai and Agumon? Kizuna ended with their heartbreaking separation, and fans were desperate for a resolution. The beginning completely sidesteps this. It was a story for the 2 kids, and including the adventure cast's plot would have bloated the film. The silver lining? By destroying the Digivices, the movie also destroyed the expiration date on partnerships that Kizuna introduced, creating a convenient loophole for Tai and the others to reunite with their partners off-screen, leading into the epilogue. Hey, real quick, I just want to give a huge shout out to my one and only channel member, Goth Reaper. Your support means the world. And if you guys want to join the crew, the link is in the description box down below. So, is Digimon Adventure 02 the beginning a mess, or is it a misunderstood piece of thematic storytelling? The answer is both. The film prioritizes the core message of the 02 series, that bonds of friendship are more powerful than any device or prophecy, over strict logical continuity. It tries to be a standalone story while simultaneously solving decades-old mysteries and connecting to multiple other series. For casual viewers, it's a confusing tangle of contradictions. But for dedicated fans willing to dig through interviews and supplementary materials, it offers a fascinating, if flawed, explanation for some of the franchise's biggest questions, bringing the timeline full circle to the ending we were promised all those years ago. But what do you think? Does the movie's thematic resonance make up for its plot holes? Or did the contradictions ruin the experience for you? Let me know your theories down in the comments.